Welcome back. It is Wednesday, November 6th in the NBA. My four best bets are on the way. If you are new, my name's Austin from Calling Our Shot. We start with a recap of how we did the previous day. Technically no picks on Tuesday, but I'll throw up a recap of how we did on Monday. Normally I would have our normal recap graphic, but we had a ton of picks, so I thought it was easier to just post the graphic that I posted on Twitter. Alvarado's over in points. I saw some the comment on Monday was like, out of all the teams, you picked Jose Alvarado. Yeah, it was my favorite pick, and it ended up almost being a first quarter winner. He had 10 points in the first quarter. And we added a couple plays. Sexton was one of them. We had his over in 15.5. Also had him to score 20 plus points. We added Russell Westbrook. We added him for a 15 and 6 SGP. We did have his triple double, which lost. A lot of picks on here. A couple annoying losers. We had Mikal Bridges under in threes. He ended with 3. He made his third one with 3 minutes left. That was painful. Cade Cunningham in our Lakers Pistons SGP misses the only leg there. He had 17. We needed 20 points. Wembanyama, we added his 3-pointers. He went 2 for 9. We were hoping to get 3, which would have been plus 190. And then Drew Holiday, we missed on the hook for him. He did not play the final 18 minutes. Painful, but hey, still a profitable day. We are up about 5 units on the season, and I'll have our normal graphics probably back tomorrow. But there is a good chance we add a play today, so if you check the pinned comment, go down below and check it out. We got 4 picks today, 3 props, and a spread. Let's dive in. And there's a chance, like I said, added plays will be in the pinned comment, so check that out later on today. And if you want to go check out our NFL Best Bets video, we posted one earlier yesterday, which is talking through every single NFL game on Sunday and Monday. It's a cool video. It's a longer one, but I encourage you to check that out. First pick of the day. 1.5 units on Ice Trae. Trae Young over 23.5 points, minus 120 on Bet365. He's my 1.5 unit play of the day. What are we, 3-0 on 1.5 unit plays? And if you want to count Sexton, he was bigger than a 1 unit play. You could call that 4-0, but we won't. We'll call 3-0 on our bigger plays this season. Trae Young will be the 4th one of the season. I'm not putting 2 units because it is Trae Young, and sometimes I feel like when we bet on him, he sucks. But hey, that's any player. They're going to have some bad games, and he's coming off one of the worst games of his career. Now, he's my best bet of the day at 24.5. I'd like it for 1.5 units there. If you got, honestly, I won't lie to you, I almost took him for 30 plus points. I could see him finishing with 28 or 29, so I ended up with just 1.5 units on the 23.5. Trae Young is under this line, though, in 2 straight games. He scored 23 points in New Orleans, and then he only scored 2 points in his last game. What the heck happened? He shot 1 for 10. It was also a 30-point loss to the Celtics. What can you do? If he goes out there and shoots 1 for 10 tonight, we'll take the 1.5 units to the dome and take that out. But look, the other under came against the Pelicans, a team that can't stop anyone in the paint. So, you'll see Trae Young have some games where he defers to his teammates. But to be honest, he doesn't have a lot of good teammates right now. Bogdanovich, he's injured. So, and DeAndre Hunter, will he even play? I don't know. Jalen Johnson's probably his only other teammate that can put the ball in the basket consistently without Trae Young having to do it for him. But I don't like this matchup for Jalen Johnson. He's going to likely get OG Anunoby on him as the New York Knicks are coming into town in Atlanta to play the Hawks. So I look at Mikal Bridges. He's probably the guy that's going to guard Trae Young, and I like that. I want OG on Jalen Johnson. That's the better size matchup, so I think that's what the Knicks do, and I think this is the matchup that you're going to see Trae Young have to dominate, or else the team's going to get smoked here. And they are 6.5, 7-point underdogs, and sure, they might get smoked, but I think this is a good spot for Trae. As I said, they just faced the Pelicans, a team that allows the most field goal attempts in the paint. Second fewest is the New York Knicks. While they do allow a high field goal percentage there, they really don't like teams getting into the paint against them. And notably, they don't really have a lot of rim protection, so they try to limit you from doing that. However, I think Trae Young's going to have to get some elite volume. Earlier this season, we saw Trae have a bad game, just like he just had. He shot 2 for 15. The next game, 28 field goal attempts, 35 points. So we've seen him bounce back before, which is good to see. And no star player like Trae wants to go out there and shoot 1 for 10 and not try hard the next game. Now, if you look at Trae's game log, you just go to StatMuse and type in Trae, game log versus New York Knicks. You'll see he has some bad scoring games in here, but all those games came with DeJounte Murray, and a lot of them with Bogdanovich too. If you look at Trae's last 3 games against the Knicks without DeJounte, he was obviously with the Pelicans now. He scored 33, 29, and 45 points, 22, 23, and 25 field goal attempts. This is a matchup. Trae Young is needed to score the basketball. You're going to have Karl Anthony Towns drop coverage. He's trying to protect the paint to not let you get in there. Trae Young is going to get those pull-up 3-point opportunities, or he's going to be able to get to the floater. I don't see big games coming from guys like Clint Capella or Onyeka Okongwu. I think this is a matchup you need Trae Young to go out there and be aggressive. And Trae is over this line in 22 of his last 30 games with 15 or more field goal attempts. He's over in 29 of his last 30 with 20 or more shots. This feels like a great spot for Trae Young to get back to bouncing back after a bad game, and also a great spot for his volume to be there. Where some games you might be like, all right, the volume's not going to be there because they play tight on him, leave everyone else open. It's not normally how the Knicks do it. So I think you'll see Trae Young with elite volume tonight. Let's just hope he's making some shots back at home, coming off a bad game. I love his over 23.5 points for 1.5 units. Can make it a 2-unit play, but I will stick to 1.5 units right now. My second play, we're going to go to a guy in his second year, a guy that I think is in for a big game, and you could ladder this guy's points up tonight. It's Brandon Miller, over 16.5 points, minus 120 on DraftKings. The second-year Charlotte Hornet has had a slow start to his season, but I like this at 16.5. I like it at 17.5. I think Brandon Miller might have a massive game, and we'll talk about him. Now, why has he started off slow? Because if you look at his numbers, you'll be like, this isn't ideal. First game, he got injured with a glute injury, right? Then he missed a week. So obviously the first game he got injured, I think he played 11 minutes. So obviously he's not scoring 11 minutes. Side note, one time we took Brandon Miller prop last year. It was like 16.5, 17.5. He hit the over in the first quarter. I think it was like 7 for 7. He could not miss. Let's hope we get that tonight. But like I said, first game, injured. Second game, rusty, but he still played good minutes, but shot 6 for 18. Give him a break. Third game versus the Timberwolves, tough defensive matchup. Blowout, didn't get a ton of minutes. Today, at home versus Detroit in a game that should be tight, I think the minutes and the volume will be there. I think you'll see Miller get close to scoring 20-plus points. Last year versus Detroit, Miller actually played pretty well. He's hit the over in all 3 games, 17, 23, and 19 on 13, 17, and 17 field goal attempts. Now, hard to read into those numbers because the Hornets were a weird team last year. LaMelo played some, then got injured. They had Terry Rozier. Then he was traded, Miles Bridges, and everyone in between. There was a ton of weird moving pieces. This year, basically, Brandon Miller is their second option. I know LaMelo will get his volume, but he'll be the number one focus for the Detroit Pistons of trying to slow him down. Brandon Miller, I think, is going to get some wide open opportunities. And I think he'll be, once again, to get back to the 13 to 15, maybe even more field goal attempts. In Miller's last 30 games with 12 or more shots, he's averaged 20.4 points per game, going over in 20 of 30 games. So a pretty good hit rate there. 12 shots, I honestly think is his floor. I think there's a chance we could see 16, 17 shots, just like he saw in the only game that was close-ish, and he played normal minutes. It just was his first game back from injury. He got 18 shots in that game. Look, LaMelo, he's, like I said, Pistons defense is obviously different than it was last year, so I'm not going to equate that same matchup. But something I do want to note, Pistons allow the second highest field goal percentage on catch and shoot three-pointers. Why is that important? Miller leads the Hornets with 4.3 catch and shoot three-point attempts per game. And I think he shoots about 38% on those. Now, the 4.3 might not seem like a lot, but I'd argue that includes the first game when he played 11 minutes and includes the last game he just played 22 minutes. So really, I think that line is closer, and he probably attempts closer to 6 to 7 per game. But obviously, this one game, the 2 games have kind of lowered his numbers. I think it's a great spot for Brandon Miller. Give me his over 16.5 points. My third play, I'll wait to talk about another prop because Logan has his favorite spread pick of the day. A great call on Pacers plus 5.5. They won outright. Logan, what you got for the people today?
So for my best bet today, I'm rolling with the Thunder minus 5.5, minus 120 odds on BetMGM. Currently your best value there. Now we're definitely experiencing some line movement with this one. The line opened at Thunder minus 3, but I'm still laying it with OKC, even though the value's kind of decreased a little bit on the line itself. Both these teams kind of tale of two different teams as far as against the spread numbers. OKC 5-1 against the spread. Denver just 2-5 against the spread. In the NBA, what I'm going to do as the season goes on is I'm going to bet teams that respect money. I'm not going to try to, bet these bad teams against the spread, just hoping and praying they cover that night. We ride with teams that are going to respect their money. And OKC already faced Denver. They won 102-87. Neither of these teams could really buy a bucket from the three-point percentage was bad. Field goal percentage all around bad. I still have questions about Denver's ability to keep up with OKC, especially on the defensive end. Last 2 matchups versus Jokic, OKC won by 26 and 15. Defensive rating, Thunder first, Nuggets 17. So you kind of see where I'm coming from as far as the defensive numbers. OKC is a smothering defense. They are really good. They allow the lowest field goal percentage in the restricted area. The Nuggets attempt the third most restricted area field goal attempts in the NBA while attempting the second lowest number of threes. Again, I just think OKC matches up really well defensively against this Denver team. And to beat the Thunder, you really have to be able to make your threes, specifically corner three-pointers. The Thunder allow the second most corner three-pointers in the NBA. The problem, though, is Denver shoots the third fewest corner threes, not really a part of that offense. Again, I just think OKC's defense will be the difference in this one. I think it will allow them to keep a lead, hold the cover, and stretch a lead in this game. I'm rolling with the Thunder -5.5. Love that as my best bet of the day. But Austin, what else you rolling with?
Yes, I love the Thunder tonight. I have a prop on the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I hope he helps them cover this 6 points. We did post that pick last night because the line kept moving, so you can obviously join the DubClub if you want to. We don't post a ton of picks early before at night because I don't normally like to cherry pick off soft lines, but especially for props. You won't really see me post a lot of props late at night. But for spreads, let's have a little bit more exposure in. So we wanted to get in on the Thunder -5.5. That 6 is a key number. I still think they win by 6.5. Now, my third and final play of the day, fourth pick in the video. Like I said, good chance we add some plays down below. It's Chet Holmgren. Give me his over 29.5 points, rebounds, and assists, PRAs, -110 on DraftKings for 1 unit. Now, I noticed that FanDuel did not have a PRA line for Chet. I'm not really sure why. Don't blame me. If you need an individual line, points is probably the way to go, or points plus rebounds. The Thunder or Nuggets have been giving up a ton of rebounds to opposing centers. That's why I want the points and rebounds and assists, honestly, in here too. I like Logan talked about the Thunder are back on the road to face the Nuggets, a matchup we already saw this season. In that first game, Chet played 36 minutes, 18 shots, 0 for 5 from 3. Scored 25 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 assists. OKC won by 15. If we could just get a duplication of that, that'd be ideal. Now, if you looked at Chet the last few games, you'd be like, Austin, this guy sucks. He's under in 3 straight. Well, sure. Yeah. One of those games was a blowout, and one he barely played due to foul trouble. And it was one of them. The blowout was against the Magic, a terrible matchup for him. And then the other game against the Clippers, he just didn't get anything involved. This should be a matchup that they look to get Chet the ball. And I think his minutes are going to be pretty safe here because the Nuggets and the Thunder don't have any backup big men. Now, normally they have Jalen Williams, Isaiah Hartenstein. Those guys are both injured. And while you can get away with that against teams like the Orlando Magic who don't have a dominant center, you can't get away with things like that against the Denver Nuggets who have Nikola Jokic. So you should see Chet Holmgren match the minutes of Nikola Jokic. In the first game, Chet, 36 minutes. How many minutes did Nikola Jokic play? 36. So you see they should match the minutes, and we should see a safer floor for his minutes, whereas I don't think the books are really catching on to that. So, look, I think Chet will have a dominant game. I think they're going to try to get him the ball because I think that's what they had the most success for in the first game. Why wouldn't you go back to it here? And Nikola Jokic is arguably their worst defender, and you want to get him potentially into foul trouble or get some easy looks at the hoop. And if you want to double Chet in the paint, he'll kick it out to some shooters, which is why I like the assists here. This season, when Chet has played 28 or more minutes, he's had 44, 37, 38, 26, and 28 PRAs. So did go under in 2 of those games, real close to the 20, what do we need, 30 tonight? But in the 2 games he went under, he shot 10 and 9 field goal attempts. So not a lot of usage for him. And also, we've seen 12 plus field goal attempts in all 5 career games for Denver. So even in his rookie season, it was a matchup they were trying to target against Nikola Jokic. Chet, obviously, he's come into this year looking pretty good. Last few games have been kind of anomalies, in my opinion. I think this is a great spot for Chet to score. I think he could score 20 plus points. I also think it's a great spot for rebounds. And I don't mind the assists either. I don't like the Nuggets defense. I don't think it's great. So I think we'll see Chet, if he gets going early, maybe they double him and throw some more guys on him. He can kick it out to some shooters, kick it out to some cutters. They should be able to go in and lay it in because the Nuggets defense isn't great, especially with Aaron Gordon now down. So I really like Chet tonight. I like his over in PRAs. So to recap, 1.5 units on Trae Young's over in points, 1 unit on Brandon Miller over in points, 1 unit on Chet Holmgren over in PRAs, and then a half unit on Thunder spread -5.5. Like I said, there's a good chance we add some plays down below in the pinned comments. So definitely check that out. We got a big slate. I'll probably add 1 or 2 throughout the day. So definitely check it out. I won't add like 6. I'm not going to do that, but maybe 1 or 2. I'll go down below and add in the pinned comments. So definitely check that out. We track those towards the record. So have a great day. Have a great Wednesday. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.